Pikmin 3 got announced, and I am so excited. I'll tell you why I'm excited. Because I have never played a Pikmin game. But I'll play this one, and I'll tell you why. Because this is exactly why it's important to let companies, any company, specifically Nintendo in this case, know what you want and how you want it. I get it. It's just a deluxe. But wasn't Pikmin 4 confirmed done almost years ago? So why all of a sudden does Pikmin 3 get a deluxe? Could be plenty of reasons, but I'd like to believe it's because the fans kept asking for it. And Nintendo is testing the interest, or it could be because Pikmin 4 is on the way sooner than we think, and Nintendo wants to get us hyped for it. How many people do you think are like me? Never touched a Pikmin game. Never had any real interest in one. But over the years, kept reading comments and hearing fans voicing their want, their need for Pikmin. Pikmin had really started to feel like a dying series. An Earthbound, a Wario World, an F-Zero, a series that had a cult following and has been acknowledged in games like Smash Bros., but for whatever reason, Nintendo just gave up on it. Pikmin isn't the best-selling game. It typically sells around 500,000 to a little over 1 million copies. It had been 7 years since from my understanding, traditional Pikmin game had been released. So why the change? Why now? Why the revival of Pikmin? I think the Switch being as much of a heavyweight as it has been plays a big role, but I think the fans play the bigger role. I think the dedicated Pikmin fanbase refused to let the series die. They kept begging for it, kept using their voices, and now, boom, Pikmin 3 Deluxe. What's next? Pikmin 4? I guarantee you if Pikmin 3 Deluxe sells well, which I'm sure it will. I mean, how many other fans are like me and already planning on this being their first Pikmin adventure? Mainly because they heard the noise and they love the Switch, so they want in on the action. But I guarantee you if Pikmin 3 Deluxe sells decent and gets the reaction Nintendo was looking for, which it is, go on Twitter, that we won't be waiting 7 years between mainline Pikmin games anymore. Yes, it'll be more than 7 years from the original Pikmin 3 to whenever the inevitable Pikmin 4 is released, but for all we know, and it seems like it, Pikmin 4 was canned, or at the very least paused, but the fans pushing for some sort of Pikmin could have led to a Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Which, if it does how Nintendo is hoping, could lead to Pikmin 4 finally getting its release years after it was confirmed to almost be done. And then will we have to wait 7 or 8 years for a Pikmin 5 after 4? I highly doubt it. And that's in large part because the fans of the series would not let it die. So what I'm really trying to say is, I don't care what developers of the game have said recently, at some point, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door 2 is coming, baby!